He freed them. He went in there to free them. And that's why. He went in there to free the ones that were in the prison. Again, I don't know why this guy doesn't want you to know that he's the bad. He doesn't want some people to know that they're the bad guys, that he's the one that's making all this crap happen. It's like he's been obsessively watching you. Hmm. Oh no. Did he leave you alone? Wow, interesting. Hmm. Okay, interesting. I don't know why he didn't come after you. He watched you from afar. He was obsessed with you. What on earth? Okay, he kills your husband, right? But the fact that you don't respond, for some reason you knew not to respond. You knew not to make a big deal because I don't know why. You just knew. Okay, you felt it in your gut not to act like you cared because maybe you could play it off like you didn't care about him or something. Okay, because the mayor guy was watching very closely. Okay, so you say you run back in there to the girl that's on the, an infection or whatever. You kind of play it off like you just want to be a mother and take care of this child. I see you going back out to the woods with her, like she becomes your child, like your family, and you go back way farther out into the woods, not just where you live, but farther out where I don't know, nobody owns the land or it's native. Oh, it's native land, I think. Yeah. Wow. Oh my gosh. Wow, that is so amazing. Yes. You become a mediator between the natives and the people and the white people, the settlers. Not the big folk, but the people that are actually like living closely to them, like people that just don't understand them. You learn their language. You raised this girl there. They took you in with her leg and they healed her leg like right away. Wow, you did like ceremonies. You learned their religion. You taught them yours. You taught them how you believe, and your things lined up. Like they lined up the beliefs of the natives, although they had different ways of speaking about it. You guys kind of have the same belief systems that, nature has the divine in it all. Like there's God is everywhere, especially in nature, using trees, using plants. When you kill an animal, you use all of the animal. You don't just take part of it and leave the rest to die. You know what I mean? Like he watched you from afar. He saw that you were, learning their language. He tried to use you, but at this point, now you're protected. Now there's nothing he can do because now you have the whole entire tribe of this land that they came from on your side and they will protect you. They look at you as somebody that was like they called you a white lady, like a white witch, like a white lady, like a green witch, like a good witch. And there was natives that were angry and that were warriors and that wanted to kill, and you really 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 prevented a lot from that happening. You explained the plights of the white people, and it was just this 1% that was in charge of all of the fucking torture and all of the drama and all of the freaking bad shit that was happening. Like, you explained that to them. You built their trust. I don't know how so much you did, but you did. So although you missed your husband, you loved him, but yes. I'm going to bed, but I learned another magic. Look. Yes, there. Ah, I just saw you swallow, dude.
How can you tell?
Hey, Kelly. I'm psychic, buddy. I know you ask me that every time.
Man. What I moved so. Are you still not paid reading?
I'm almost done, yep.
What is that bottle that those Western people drink out of? It's like this.
That's a whiskey bottle.
No, I know.
It looks like this.
No, I know. That's where you pour the drink from. No, I mean like
No, it's
canteen.
Yeah.
That's cool.
Mm-hmm.
The Arthur drinks out of them.
Mm-hmm.
Are they made out of leather or are they just brown steel?
Leather. So yeah, you became like a wisdom keeper. Like you were fully integrated into their community. I love
I'm
you
going to
guys.
bed.
Good night. Love you.
I'll
You
just
can just give me a hug, yeah. Thank you. Love you. There's Derek in here. Derek was giving the I love you thing. I think you prevented a lot of war between the white people.
Is this a paper wasp?
No, looks like trash to me. You became almost like a, I don't know, you went on you did some type of out of body experiences with them. You taught them some type of psychic ability or something like that, or they taught you it. I really think you actually enjoyed the rest of your life. Surprisingly, thought things were gonna get a little bit crazy, but I mean things did get crazy, but they weren't for you. It's for that lady. Like, I think that was the biggest thing. Like, I feel like you failed. You failed to protect your friend. You know, and that raising her daughter wasn't good enough. Wasn't enough. Like, you should have did more. But instead of falling into anger and like killing them back and like doing all these horrible things that you could have did, because you could have rallied all them people and then they would have all died. The people would have probably all died trying to fight for you or fight for your cause. And instead, you chose to find a peaceful way to mediate between the misunderstood against the misunderstood. Because remember how I said the people were scared of like the natives or something like that, like the people that lived in the woods, the settlers out in the woods area. There was a reason for that because oh my god, the white freaking people that work for this piece of shit motherfucker was putting on native clothes and acting like they were Native Americans, and they were ones that were fucking starting fires. They were throwing stuff they blamed the natives for starting the fire that had killed her. So taking her, that little girl, in there to the natives that she thought had done it, because they were like, oh, like they were making native noises and stuff, trying to portray themselves to be natives that were killing him, that were like starting these fires, and it wasn't. It wasn't. It was that piece of shit motherfuckers that did it. So You created a path between both peoples. You knew they were both innocent. Once you met them, you knew they were both innocent, that it was only that 1%ers that were at fault here. And you became a voice for both of them. The only reason why they allowed you in is because you were like freaking carrying this freaking 7, 8-year-old girl, and you are not that big. Like you're like maybe 5'3". You weren't bigger. Like you were little, like you were smaller. You were pretty petite to yourself. Wow. You had built this like thing where you had this rope that went over your shoulders, and it was like a sling, and then you carried her, and she had like this, it was like a wooden sled behind you where she was leaned up and her legs were out, and you were like pulling her through the freaking woods, the brush, the fire trench, or the fire lance brush. Everything was already all charcoaled and burnt and hot still. Oh my God, it was so hot. When you got there, your fucking feet, the bottom of your feet were burned. But you were like, I've got to get out. Like you did not care. You kept going. That's why. Like when you got somewhere near their place, like by some type of water, like you were trying to make it to the water to get water, and you just collapsed. You collapsed on the ground. You fell. The girl fell on top of you, and you're just collapsed on the ground. And the natives came, saw you fall, saw you there, and they brought you back, and you were still so passed out. That's how exhausted you were. If you think about it, it took hours to get, not hours, it took like maybe an hour to get to the town on horseback from your property. So think about how long it would take for you to get that girl out of the town and all the way back through the woods, past your property to some form of water. That would be like you were walking all day in that heat. Not to mention it was the middle of summertime, but your feet were burnt. You had shoes on. It burnt through your shoes, stepping on that coal and stuff, on that burnt wood. The fire was out, but it was all still smoldering hot. And so they took you in, and you were passed out for like 3 days. They brought you back to like to life, and the daughter was awake before then. The girl was awake before then. She was awake. She could understand them too, more. Hmm. Maybe her husband was like native, had some native blood or something in him. The one that died, or her dad, I mean, her dad. Yeah, because she was a little bit darker. Oh my gosh, yes. That's why they did this. Okay, remember that your friend, the one that died, that ended up dying in the fire? They came after her because her husband was native. Like he was part native, or he was fully native, but he had came, I guess she had fell in love with them, and then I don't know exactly what happened. This may be somebody else in the chat, or that that this woman was. She had fell in love with him or something like that, and he integrated into their lifestyle, into their life, bought the land. But they did not like her. That's why that guy that like okay, the father's son, like the piece of shit's son, came after her because he was like, oh, if you're gonna lower yourself to these freaking animals, then anybody deserves to put their freaking shit inside you. You know what I mean? Like this, like just like to that society, that was you were just like she was disgusting. And so the little girl was mixed. She was mixed. That's why they kept coming after her, because she was not fully white. She was mixed. She was a mixed little girl. And as much as they can't stand, and it's disgusting, why do they keep trying to rape them then? You know what I mean? Like, so they saw that little mixed girl, and that's why she understood them more. She understood their language. She could understand them. So she taught you how to speak it. I think they learned in secret. She was never allowed to speak it in front of anybody. She learned in secret. So when she taught you, she could teach you, obviously. And so they were asking her questions when she woke up way before you. You were still passed out. I think the medicine lady gave you some medicine or something. Yeah, out of body experience. She gave you some medicine, all right, because you was out here floating around and shit when your feet were gone, like the muscle was on the bottom of it, like meat. There was no skin left on the bottom of your feet. You couldn't walk for a long time. So instead, you just taught. You sat in a wheelchair type thing and you just taught everybody. They asked you all kinds of questions. I mean, it was like a good year before you could ever stand. But they took care of you and that little girl. So all in all, you ended up with the community that you wanted, and you ended up saving a lot of death and a lot of fighting and a lot of like, you know, war between two peoples that were innocent in themselves. Now there was part of the clan that did not like that you were teaching them different things. Like, you know what I mean? Like they didn't want to adopt any white people stuff, which was going to be kind of hard for them to do. But there was a woman, there was a medicine woman or like a witch or whatever, and she kind of had the final say. And so he didn't really get to do what he wanted to do, which was probably take your ass out. So she made sure that you were allowed to teach whoever wanted to learn, but never ever ever were you supposed to, force it on anybody. You ended up dying at old age. Respected, loved, but you got tired. I don't know. I just see like I see you and like there's like it's not a tent. It's like a wooden shack type thing ish. You just kind of fell asleep and you never woke up. But you knew it was coming. Again, this was like a very intuitive, psychic, a group of people that knew, the time was coming, you got to say goodbye. That little girl ended up having a family. So you were like a grandma. She did. She ended up having a family. You had grandkids. You loved the grandkids. You had a great life with them. It was a long while that you had to spend with them before you died. You missed your husband every day, though. And one of the native peoples drew a picture of him for you. He was like an artist, and you described to him what he looked like. Look, I can't make it up. I can't make it up. Look, look, look. Group living. Look at that shit. I literally cannot make it up, guys. And like the look on your husband's face when he was about to burn, it gave you so much power and like strength to freaking get through anything. He was like, do not let my death be in vain. And you didn't. Oh my God, you didn't. He's so proud of you. He is so proud of you. He's like, I wouldn't expect anything less from her. She's a warrior, but a warrior of love, a warrior of the divine. Like, I don't think any other freaking angel could have done better with that. You know what I mean? Like, yeah, it says tribe. It says tribe at the top. Right there. Tribe. It probably is, yeah. I can ask. I think so. I mean, I guess there could have been one more in there. Is this her most recent past life? Nope. Is it the one before last? Is it the one before last? No. The one before that? Is this 3 past lives backwards? Yeah. So it had to have been, like the early 17 somethings. Yeah, that would make sense. 17, 18, 19, yeah. He probably died closer to 1800 or something like that. But it's something about